On September 22, 2025, a historic announcement reverberated across the globe. Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom have jointly recognized the state of Palestine, marking a moment that will be remembered for generations to come. This unprecedented move represents a seismic shift in international diplomacy, sending shockwaves through the corridors of power from New York to Jerusalem. For decades, Western nations have largely followed a cautious approach, hesitating to formally recognize Palestinian statehood. Now, this coordinated decision breaks with that long-standing policy, signaling deep frustration with the lack of progress and a growing impatience for meaningful change in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Leaders from Ottawa, Canberra, and London issued simultaneous statements, revealing months of intense behind-the-scenes collaboration and diplomatic negotiation. Their unified message was clear: the time has come for a new approach, one that prioritizes justice, peace, and the rights of all peoples in the region. By stepping away from the traditional US-led approach, these nations are not only challenging the established diplomatic order, but also urging the rest of the international community to reconsider their own positions and responsibilities in the pursuit of peace. For Palestinians, this recognition transforms statehood from a distant hope into a present reality, at least in the eyes of three major world powers. In cities like Ramallah, celebrations erupted as people waved flags and expressed renewed optimism for their future. This bold diplomatic step injects new momentum into the long-stalled two-state solution, offering a glimmer of hope for renewed negotiations. Yet, it also brings significant risks, potentially straining relationships with Israel and the United States and raising questions about the path forward. Around the world, newsrooms buzzed with activity as analysts and leaders alike tried to assess the potential consequences. Will this gamble spark genuine progress, or will it deepen existing divisions and fuel further instability in the Middle East? The implications of this decision are profound, touching on issues of sovereignty, international law, and the very future of peace in the region. As a new chapter begins, the world watches closely, aware that the choices made today will shape the destiny of generations to come. The leaders of Canada, Australia, and the UK framed their decision as a long-overdue recognition of Palestinian self-determination. They argue that formal recognition is essential for justice, dignity, and equality, and a necessary step to revive the two-state solution. By treating Palestine as a state, they hope to create a more balanced framework for negotiations, talks between equals, not occupier and occupied. This move responds to mounting domestic and international pressure for a more just approach to the conflict. The leaders warn that the window for a two-state solution is closing, and urgent action is needed to disrupt a dangerous trajectory. Recognition is a calculated risk, intended to force renewed engagement and a genuine push for peace. The announcement has split the world. The Global South and much of the Middle East celebrate the move as a stand for justice and international law. Israel and its allies condemn it as undermining peace, warning it could harden positions and escalate tensions. Within Europe, reactions are mixed. Some countries welcome the shift, while others urge caution and adherence to negotiated settlements. The decision forces every nation to clarify its stance, exposing deep divisions over the path to peace. Supporters hail it as a breakthrough. Critics fear it will complicate negotiations. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains one of the most polarizing issues in global politics. The United States stands firm: no recognition of Palestine outside direct negotiations. The White House insists that only talks between Israelis and Palestinians can lead to statehood, dismissing unilateral recognition as counterproductive. This marks a clear rift between the US and its closest allies, who have traditionally coordinated Middle East policy. Canada, Australia, and the UK are now charting their own course, no longer waiting for a US-led breakthrough. The split challenges Western unity and America's leadership on the issue. US officials argue that recognition removes incentives for compromise and risks prejudging final status issues. Meanwhile, the three allies believe recognition can jumpstart a stalled process. This is more than a policy disagreement, it's a fundamental split on how to achieve peace. Supporters of the initiative are hopeful that this recognition will breathe new life into the long-stalled peace process. They believe it could serve as a catalyst for renewed dialogue and negotiations, empowering Palestinian negotiators by providing them with a stronger platform and creating a more balanced and equal footing in discussions. The ultimate goal is to break the persistent cycle of failed talks that have plagued the region for decades. By encouraging both sides to engage as sovereign states rather than adversaries locked in conflict, there is hope for a more constructive dialogue. However, critics caution that this move could provoke a strong Israeli response, potentially leading to settlement expansion, withholding of revenues, or diplomatic pushback. This shift in recognition may also inspire other Western nations to reconsider their positions and follow suit, thereby increasing international pressure on both Israel and the United States to reassess their current stances. If more countries decide to join this movement, the peace process could transition from a predominantly US-led framework to a more inclusive, multilateral one, involving a broader range of international stakeholders. The outcome of this initiative largely depends on how global and regional leaders choose to respond. Will this development open a new window for meaningful dialogue, or will it trigger further escalation and tension? The coming months will be crucial in determining whether this marks a significant turning point in the peace process, or if it will become just another missed opportunity in the long history of this conflict. Recognition by these three nations is both symbolic and practical, a powerful affirmation of Palestinian identity that resonates far beyond diplomatic circles. It sends a message to the world that Palestine's aspirations for statehood are being acknowledged at the highest levels and that their struggle for recognition is not going unnoticed. This recognition also provides a significant boost to their international standing, opening doors that were previously closed and giving Palestinian representatives a stronger voice in global affairs. It allows Palestine to upgrade diplomatic missions to embassies, join more international organizations, and participate more fully in the international community. These embassies become symbols of sovereignty and legitimacy, serving as bridges for dialogue and cooperation. With this new status, Palestine can access global legal forums, such as the International Court of Justice, and advocate for its rights on a much larger stage. This access is crucial for pursuing justice and accountability. These steps help build the institutions of a modern state, from government ministries to legal systems, laying the groundwork for effective self-governance and public services. They also strengthen Palestine's ability to operate on the world stage, allowing its leaders to engage with counterparts, negotiate agreements, and represent their people's interests with greater authority. The move is designed to empower Palestinian leadership, giving them the tools and legitimacy needed to make decisions that affect their future and the future of their people. It demonstrates that diplomacy can yield real results, showing that peaceful engagement and negotiation can bring about meaningful change. For Palestinians, this recognition offers a non-violent path to legitimacy. It is a source of hope and pride, inspiring communities and reinforcing the belief that progress is possible through peaceful means. For Israel, it signals that the occupation is increasingly unacceptable to the international community, and that the status quo cannot be maintained indefinitely without consequences. Canada, Australia, and the UK hope this dual impact will create new incentives for peace, encouraging both sides to return to the negotiating table and seek a just resolution. Recognition is not just a title, it's a strategic tool to alter the political reality, shift perceptions, and lay the foundation for a more balanced and equitable peace process. The hope is that this recognition will provide greater leverage for Palestinian negotiators, empowering them to advocate more effectively for their people's rights and aspirations. Ultimately, the goal is a fairer path to lasting peace, one where both peoples can coexist with dignity, security, and mutual respect. The recognition could reshape the Middle East, addressing a core grievance that has fueled decades of conflict. Proponents believe it could lay the groundwork for peace and regional cooperation, reducing the appeal of extremism. But the risks are real. Israel's anger could spark diplomatic or economic retaliation, raising tensions further. The region's fragile balance means any shift could trigger unintended consequences, for better or worse. The long-term impact depends on how leaders in Jerusalem, Ramallah, Washington, and beyond respond. If used to restart good faith negotiations, this could be a turning point. If it leads to greater polarization, it may become just another chapter in a long history of missed opportunities.